G'day everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we'll be going through my round 8 AFL tips and predictions, and as well as that we will be recapping last week's tips to see how I did last week in the tipping. If you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and without further ado we'll get straight into the tipping. So last week I got a total of 6 out of 9 tips correct, so I dropped off a bit from the past couple previous rounds. However, I tipped Richmond on the Friday night. I tipped them to get it done by 29, and they absolutely demolished the West Coast Eagles. I was off for this tip by 80 points, as they did get it done by 109 against the Eagles. So, West Coast, wow, is it rebuilding stages for them? I'm pretty sure. If it's not rebuilding stages, then it's bloody close to a rebuild. They really need to get their season back on track, the West Coast Eagles, and who knows, from now onwards, they might just be looking for the number 1 pick. They might want to be finishing wooden spooners. But yeah, from what we've seen in that game, from what we've seen in West Coast season so far, they will be bottom 4 finishers, and yeah, they have one of the lowest percentages in the league at the moment, if not, I think maybe the lowest. So West Coast, yeah, performing like that at home. They won against Richmond last year at home, and then yeah, look, fast forward a year later and they're getting thumped by 109 against Richmond at home. So tipped the Tigers to get it done by 29. Got the tip correct, however they got it done by 109, so off by 80 points. Then we move to GMHBA to see the Geelong Cats take on the Freo Dockers in probably the game of the round. I did tip the Dockers to get it done, as I am a Dockers fan. Now, I didn't tip the Dockers because I thought they were going to win. I tipped the Dockers, frankly, because I do barrack for them, so I didn't really have much confidence going into this game. I went to the game and I was a bit iffy. I thought it could be a 50-50 chance, however, it's going to be really hard to get it done at GMHBA. And Freo, yeah, they're playing really good footy at the moment. We've won 5 in a row, and we're coming into face North this upcoming week at Optus Friday night footy. So I feel like if we don't win that game, well, I don't think that's even in the words. I feel like we'll win it, but yeah, it's just a matter of how much. But yeah, tip the Dockers to get it done, and the Cats, I don't know, they looked a bit slow. It was a low-scoring, scrappy affair, like 66-69 final score, so nothing too exciting for the final scores, but tip the Dockers, and yeah, I feel like that's a really good tip, because I don't think many people actually would have tipped Freo to get it done. Then we move to Adelaide Oval to 10 p.m. on Saturday. I tipped the Crows to get it done against the Giants. I thought GWS haven't been in the best of form. They lost their last 3 previous games coming into this matchup, so I thought, you know, they're not in the best of form. I don't think they're going to perform too well. However, they came out and absolutely smashed the Crows. I feel like this is an upset that you could have seen happening if you thought about it a bit before the round, and if there could have been any upset this week, I feel like it could have been GWS against Adelaide. So at Adelaide Oval, I thought Adelaide were going to perform a bit better footy than what they did, but GWS got out on top and they won it very comfortably in the end. So that was the first tip incorrect for the round 7 tips. Now we move to the MCG to see Melbourne take on the Hawks. And the Hawks put up a good fight, they put up a good effort. However, I did tip the D's in the end. They won it by 10 points at the MCG against the Hawks, and the D's undefeated. They've won 7, they've lost 0, so the D's looking in similar form to last year. Now, obviously in the past few tipping videos, I say that they haven't been playing their best footy. You know, they're still like pretty unpredictable. They're not, you know, too trustworthy at the moment, the D's, but they've won 7 in a row. There's really nothing negative you can say about it. They seem to drop off a little bit at the end of games. As we can see, Hawthorn made a mini comeback and they only lost it by 10 points, so credit to the Hawks for getting that close. Hawthorn haven't been a bad team all year, so yeah, a good contest and good fight from the Hawks. Only lost it by 10 points, so got to give credit where credit is due. So credit to the Hawks, but Melbourne got out on top and are yet to lose a game this year. Then we head over to Kazali's Stadium to see St Kilda take on Port Adelaide. Now, I tipped the Saints in this matchup. I thought the Saints were the better team going into this game, and they were the better team. I feel like if this was played at a different venue, if this was played at Marvel, maybe even the G, I feel like, yeah, St Kilda would have come out on top, but it was a scrappy affair. I think the Saints kicked about 4 goals, 18, and Port, I think, kicked 5-13, so real shitty, scrappy affair at Gazali Stadium. Tip St Kilda, because Port, let's be honest, they had a really poor start to the season up until that game against West Coast last week, so Tipped the Saints, however, yeah, Port got it done in a real scrappy affair, 42-43 final scores, so nothing special, really crappy game, and especially for the Channel 7 game, like, honestly, I probably would have rather watched Carlton North. Now, obviously, it was only a one point win to Port Adelaide, but it was just a real shitty game, like, nothing really too entertaining. Tipped the Saints, got it incorrect. We moved to Marvel Stadium to see the Blues and the Kangaroos. Tipped Carlton to get this done, and they got it done comfortably. Now, when are we going to see the Mackay brothers play against each other? They've played, I think the stats said that they've played each other 7 times, and in all those 7 times, they've never actually lined up against each other. There's always one missing in the lineup, so tipped the Blues to get it done. They got it done comfortably in the end against the Kangaroos. Moving on to the Sunday matchups now, we have Collingwood and Gold Coast at the MCG. I did end up tipping the Pies to get it done. Now, I don't feel like this was the most exciting of games. Jack Ginnivan, possibly a goal of the year contender. That was a real good run around a few Suns players, sell the candy. And then, yeah, off the left into the goal, snap around the body. I feel like Collingwood, they haven't had the worst starts of the year. Gold Coast have just been their normal self. They haven't been great, Gold Coast, but they haven't been the worst team. Tipped the Pies to get it done, and they got it done comfortably, actually. The Pies got it done by 25 points, and the Pies do sneak into the 8 after this win against the Suns, so they've also got the same win-loss ratio as Geelong this year, so maybe view them as a team as good as Geelong this year. They've won the same amount of games against Geelong. Now, obviously, Geelong did win against them a few weeks ago, but, Collingwood, they're not having that bad of a year, especially when everyone expected them to finish bottom 4 this year. I don't see that happening. I feel like they'll range from 8th to maybe around 14th. So an average year, I feel like, is ahead of the Pies. However, yeah, easily can be beatable, and yeah, they got the job done against the Suns. Second last game of the round, it was the Doggies and the Bombers at Marvel Stadium. I ended up tipping the Dogs in this matchup, and Essendon, yeah, I don't know what's next for the Bombers. Look, their game plan just going into every week is not working out, so they're really needing to find out a new game plan going into this season. We've seen that they've obviously used a new game plan, which just hasn't been working. They've won one game, and that was against Adelaide by 4 points. Essendon have the same win-loss ratio as the Eagles at the moment, which is saying something. They are 1-6. They've won one game, lost 6 games this year. So, yeah, not sure what's next for the Bombers. However, the Bulldogs really needed that win to spark up some momentum in their favour. They haven't had the strongest starts of this year. However, yeah, that was a much-needed win for the Doggies, and I did get that tip correct as well. And last game of the round, I thought this was going to be the game of the round as well, the game of the week, Sydney and Brisbane at the SCG. I tipped the Swans to get this done, mainly because of the home ground advantage. However, I saw this one going either way. It was a 50-50 tip. If it was at the Gabba, I would have definitely leaned towards the Brizzy Lions. However, both teams quite even on the ladder. I think Brisbane 2nd, Sydney 4th, maybe dropped down to 5th now, I think. But yeah, both teams pretty even this year, and I tipped the Swans. So we'll now move on to my round 8 tips and predictions. And yeah, got 6 out of 9 in the round 7 tips. Moving on to the round 8 tips and predictions, we start off on Adelaide Oval, Friday, 6th of May. Port Adelaide and the Dogs. Now, the Dogs have the money to win this only by 10 cents. Dogs sitting 10th on the table, Port sitting 13th on the table. Now, I feel like this week, I'm going to go a round of tipping upsets. So, I'm going to tip Port to get this done. I'm going to be tipping a round of upsets. I'm going to be tipping a risky round. Usually, I play it safe. I've noticed that in the past few weeks, I've been playing it a bit too safe. So, I'm going to be tipping Port, and I'm going to be tipping them to get it done by... I feel like Port are playing better footy. I don't know why most percent of people have tipped the Dogs, actually, because Port, they've won 2 in a row, and they could be, they could be having some momentum in their favour. And playing at Adelaide Oval, I feel like this is where they'll play a strong brand of footy. I'm going to tip Port Adelaide to get it done by 17 points. However, I even feel the margin may be exceeding over 17 points, but who knows? The Doggies flogged them last year in a final at Adelaide Oval. I just feel like Port Adelaide, home ground advantage, I feel like they should be able to get it done in an upset. Moving on to the next game, there is 2 games on the Friday night. We moved Optus Stadium, 8:40 PM, bounce down Freo and North Melbourne at Optus. We have the Dockers with 99% of people tipping the Dockers. Dockers $1.06 sitting third on the table, and North Melbourne have absolutely zero odds in their favour. They're sitting 17th, $9 to win it. 1% of people have tipped North Melbourne. I'm going to be tipping Freo. I feel like it'd be bloody really stupid to tip against the Dockers here. We've had some decent games against North Melbourne in the past, but I think the past 3 to 4 games we've won it quite comfortably as well. Moving on to the Saturday matchups now, we have Richmond and Collingwood at the MCG. Now, I feel like this one could go in anyone's favour. A lot of people have tipped Richmond. Collingwood just coming off a win against the Suns. I feel like this is where a Collingwood upset could occur. They definitely had an upset last year against the Tigers, and I did say that I'm tipping a round of upsets this week, so I'm going to be tipping Collingwood to get it done. 21 points, however, I feel like the margin could be a bit lower. This one could actually be a decent game, but I feel like it's just going to be one of those scrappy affairs where somebody comes away within the last quarter. Next game on the Saturday is Sydney and Gold Coast at the SCG. Going to be tipping Sydney to win this one by, I'm going to say 89 points. I feel like this is going to be a strong game for the Swans to win. They're going to bounce back after last week's loss against the Brizzy Lions. Gold Coast have no chance to win this at the SCG. If they win, then bloody credit to them. They have 1% of people tipping them in this matchup, and zero odds in favour for the Suns. I feel like Sydney way too dominant as a team this year, and I feel like Gold Coast stand absolutely no chance. I'll be tipping the Swans by 89 points. 4:35 p.m. Saturday, Manuka Oval, GWS and Geelong. Now, I would be going Geelong here, but I feel like even if I wasn't tipping a round of upsets, I would go the Giants. I'm going to be tipping the Giants in an upset. We need to make this round interesting. If we want it, we need to risk it to get the biscuit. That's the saying. So, going to be tipping the Giants to win this one. I'm going to be tipping them by 9 points. However, I feel like it sounds closer than it's going to be. I feel like GWS will get a hold of the Cats at Manuka Oval. I don't feel like the Cats play there too often, so I feel like GWS will get the better of them. They'll win it by 9 points, and it sounds closer than what it is. I feel like GWS will control most of the match, and yeah, they'll run away with it. Saturday night footy at Marvel Stadium, we have the Bombers and the Hawks. A lot of people have tipped the Hawks here, and I feel like this is where another upset could occur. However, based on how much I like the two sides, I'm going to be tipping the Hawks, and I feel like it's just the safest bet. I'll tip the Hawks to get it done. I feel like this could actually exceed a decent margin. I'm going to tip the Hawks to get it done by 47 points. I feel like Essendon just aren't in the greatest stage at the moment, coming off so many losses in a row. Maybe 4 or 5 losses in a row. Saturday night footy at the Gabba, we have Brisbane and West Coast. And West Coast, $15 to win this game, and only 1% of tippers have tipped West Coast. They're sitting last on the ladder, and I'm going to be tipping Brisbane, and I feel like this one could exceed 100 points. I'm going to tip Brisbane to win it by 121 points. I know it sounds big, but trust me, Brisbane definitely have the capability to do that, especially against West Coast, such a low-rated side this year. I feel like if Richmond are beating them by 109 at Optus Stadium, I feel like at the Gabba it's a whole different story. I'm going to tip the Lions to get it done by 121. West Coast, poorest team this year, and Brisbane are strong. They've been really strong. They bet Sydney at the SCG, so pretty decent win. I'll be tipping Brizzy by 121 points. Moving on to the Sunday games now. We only have 2 this week. We have Melbourne and St Kilda at the MCG, and I feel like Melbourne should win this. I feel like they should go 8-0 the Ds. However, you never know with the Saints. They're coming off a really poor game against Port Adelaide, and I feel like both sides haven't had the best goal kicking this year, especially the Saints. So I feel like I'm going to be tipping the Ds. However, I feel like the Saints will be in this game. It's first v fourth, so ladder is not too far away from each other. I feel like goal kicking accuracy is going to make or break this game. I feel like Saints will have the opportunities. They just won't take them into account. They'll have a shocking goal point ratio like they do pretty much every week, the Saints. So I'll be tipping Melbourne based on goal kicking accuracy and form at the moment. And last game in round 8, we have Carlton and Adelaide at Marvel Stadium, 4:40 p.m. bounce down. All odds in favour of the Blues this game, and I don't see Adelaide getting up here. I'm going to be tipping Carlton. I'm going to be tipping the Blues. I just don't see Adelaide exceeding expectations in this game. They had a really poor game last week against the Giants. So I'll be tipping the Blues to get it done. And I feel like, yeah, they're very heavy favourites coming into this game. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We've just hit 3K recently and we're going up subs drastically at the moment. So thank you for everyone for the support. We're getting heaps of views on the tipping videos. So if you guys do enjoy, leave a like and subscribe for AFL vlogs, content in general. And I'll see you all in my next video.